Time now to have a look at the challenges, changes and successes when healthier changes are made in school tuck shops, sport clubs and healthcare retail. And how do you overcome challenges along the way? Such a great panel to bring up on stage now, particularly when you just talked about Tuckshops, Tara. Two fantastic ladies. We're kind of traversing the state a little bit. I'd like to welcome Madonna Jardine, Tuckshop co-convenor at Cav Road State High, Sara Begg, Tuckshop convenor all the way from Freshwater State School in Cairns, Jasmine, Johnston, Dietitian, adults team, primary and community care from Roma, and Paula Sale, the president of WDNA. That's where I played when I was little. Would you please welcome these ladies to the microphones? It's high up here, isn't it? Ladies, thank you so much. I can imagine your brains were going wild when Tara was talking just then. I'll just get each of you to tuck along the line and just explain who you are and your roles, if you could.
My name's Jasmine Johnston. I'm a dietitian out at the Roma Hospital for the Southwest.
And I'm Paula Sale. I'm the president of Western Districts Netball Association. So we've had a couple of netball shout-outs today, which is lovely. We're situated just down the road in Graceville. We've got about 2,600 playing members, and as a lot of them are juniors, we have probably 2,000 or 5,000 people, I should say, coming to our grounds each Saturday for game day.
And I'm Sara Begg. I'm all the way from Cairns in Far North Queensland, representing Freshwater State School Tuckshop.
Madonna Jardine. I'm from Cavendish Road State High School. We have 2,100 students, and I am one of those canteens that serves 500 students in about 20 minutes.
Blows my mind. I should mention to those joining us at home, please send your questions in. We could fire them off. I'm sure the ladies have quite a few to answer. What about that comment, just following on from what Tara said about when you're not made feel welcome? I remember being told I was making my egg sandwich very badly at Tuckshop, and it didn't really encourage me to go back. I did, but what about that and the way you can work with your volunteers?
We always make sure that we let the volunteers know, no matter how much time or how little time they have to give us, we appreciate it. We understand that everybody's busy these days, and that's just life. So we take what we get. We do have in place plans. We also send out a memo letting the volunteers know what jobs we have, and making it sound as simple as possible for them. A lot of people get a little bit intimidated when they hear they have to come in to a school and volunteer, or just into any place, if they're not sure how it works. So if you can send out the information beforehand, as Tara said, it's fantastic. We get more people in.
All right, we're talking about success stories and the changes that you've made. So Jasmine, I'm going to shoot to the end, straight to you. What are you most proud of, some of the changes that you've made, and how did it happen?
I think as a dietitian, I have a very vested interest in data and numbers. So obviously achieving 100% compliance was a very exciting time for us. And it was one of the first times I think that I'm aware of that we had achieved that. But then when I actually stepped back and I looked at our canteen and all the work we'd done, it was so nice to come in and actually see all of these beautiful colours from all of the foods that we'd introduced, and then see people actually ordering them. So when I stand in line and I hear people ordering the yogurt and the fruit and the salad sandwiches, it really excites me that they're the choices people are making now because of the changes we made.
Isn't it funny when Michael was talking about take a photo of that burger? We love looking at food, right? So beautiful, coloured, healthy food is actually what we want to see.
My phone is full of photos of our canteens and vending machines.
Paula?
We obviously started small. We've tried to be offering healthy food options in our canteen for about 5 or 6 years now, and we did start small. We just had a couple of healthy items and not a great quantity of those healthy foods, but it's really grown, and it's really pleasing to see how quickly people have taken up those healthy options. The range that we offer now, from veggie sticks and hummus to granola and yogurt in the morning, those sorts of things, and just the sheer quantities that we're going through. When we first started, we probably would sell 5 fruit salads in a day, and now it's easily over 50. So the uptake's really there. It's been great to see.
How hard is it to maintain change when you get interruptions? I'm thinking for netball with COVID, floods in your part of the world, to maintain that change.
Dare I say it, we actually probably benefited a little bit from the flood. So we applied for a lot of grants to help with our rebuild, and we've been able to switch our canteen up a lot and get equipment in that's really helps promote that. So we've moved to a self-service canteen. We've got cold display cabinets where people can help themselves to sandwiches and wraps and rolls and things, and we can access those cabinets from behind. So we're madly making the sandwiches in the background and then restocking all of the fridges. So I suppose we've taken advantage of that structural change that we've been able to do.
Sarah, what about for you? You're coming to us from the north. It is a different environment.
It's totally different up north, but my success story has been quite a big one. This is my 4th year in Tuckshops, and I've taken the Tuckshop from $35,000 loss to a $6,000 profit for the last 3 years, including COVID. The biggest change was engagement in people within my school community. I went out and I spoke to parents and I said, "Hi, I'm the Tuckshop lady. What would you like to see? What would you like to come? Would you like to come in and have a look at my environment?" From there, I proceeded to apply for government grants because I knew that I had 12 months. If I was to get that grant, I had 12 months that they would have to look at me so I could implement that money that was invested in me that I was awarded. And I was awarded $25,000. So from there, my PNC put in another $25,000 and I got a brand new Tuckshop within the first 12 months of me being in business. So that was a big achievement. I was lucky enough to have a lot of the equipment in place already. So from there I moved to the outside. I had a massive garden that was overgrown and I used our grounds and I talked to our school and we all got involved on the same page. It's very important to engage your community that you have because they are your resource. So that's what I did. We have a massive garden. We have a composting system that the school also invested money into. We got another grant. We had another grant this year also. It's important to engage community. I can't stress that enough. We use those foods that we grow in the Tuckshop. The kids are now being involved in the composting system. We have kids picking the fruit, bringing them to the Tuckshop, the vegetables, they're washing them for us. I'm using them to cook with, and I go to the classroom and we do a taste testing session. I do that also with the parents. So it's very exciting in the far north, growing and getting our community involved.
What size school are you?
We are 650. Primary school.
Madonna, for you, as you said, massive school, Cav Road, and what you've done. Tell us about your changes and success.
We changed we went to the end of term and we changed to a Smart Choices, a fully approved Smart Choices menu at beginning of term 4, which is one of the shortest terms of the year in a high school. I will be honest, we did have some bad feedback, but once again, once the children realised that the choices that weren't healthy were removed, they found stuff that they liked. They had options. We didn't make it mandatory that they had to have canteen, and that's one thing that we all forget is students don't have to have canteen. Unfortunately, with society today, it's almost a necessity for some students. So therefore, to have a healthy option to a packed lunch is important. You can't please everybody, and I think that's something that a lot of conveners and canteen managers try and do, is you will never please anybody. Oh, everybody, I should say. But if you can, everybody. But if you can please the majority, then that's the difference. And all our students are on board now. Yes, they miss their chips. Yes, they miss the soft drinks and the sugary food. But we're not taking treats away from them. We're just taking treats away from them during school hours. They can still have a treat, and I think that's another perception that people have, is that canteen should be a treat. It shouldn't. It should be a healthy option to a packed lunch. A lot of our students get canteen every single day, and a lot of them tell us, especially the older boys, tell us that it's the only real healthy, fresh food, freshly made food that they get during the day. They have a lot of takeaway. They have a lot of convenience meals when they're at home. And that's just, once again, It's the difference between what it was like years ago where there was 2 parents at home or one parent that stayed at home, one worked. Now we have either both parents working or single parent families. So it's important that when they are getting a food from the school that it is a healthy choice.
Were you surprised when you implemented that menu how broad it was, like what you actually had to choose from?
Oh, it's amazing what you can do. I always say we have a chicken product that we use in 12 different menu items. Another thing that canteen conveners try to do is have such a diverse menu. We just say keep it simple. Keep it simple. You don't have the volunteers you used to have. So you have to work with what you have. So just simplify things as much as possible.
Jasmine, could you share with the room, from the changes you've made and what you've done, how can others make it stick as well? What would you advise?
About how to make
The changes that you made, how to make it stick so it doesn't go by the wayside.
Yep. I think for me, I've finally acknowledged that I will always be engaged with ABC, with our health service. So when I was working on the project, it was always like, here's the end date, therefore I won't have anything to do with it anymore. I've done my job, it's all complete. But I realise now that that's not necessarily the case. So continuing to support the canteen staff and support our executive team and managers to sustain these changes. Yeah.
Interesting, Paula.
Yeah, as a sporting organisation, obviously we are quite focused on active, healthy lifestyles, and having the complement of healthy food options is important for us. Apart from the canteen and general game day experience that we have on a Saturday, we've got a number of representative teams that we take away for various state carnivals, and they might be playing at a carnival for 4 days straight, and we actually bring a dietitian in to speak to the players, talk about fueling their bodies, recovery foods, etc. And hopefully that message is going home to parents as well. And it's part of that holistic approach we take to health for all of our members.
It's interesting for you, isn't it, being the actual association, because you've got to bring lots of different people on the journey. You have a lot of netball clubs with their own agendas that you need to bring together.
Yeah, and I think most people are on board with that. It's rare that people say, no, we want unhealthy options for our kids. You know, the majority of people are looking for ways that they can encourage their children to eat healthily. And if we can facilitate that, then that's a great thing.
You've also got a really broad range of ages. I mean, you've got the teeny tinies right up to older women, so that choice has to be there.
Yeah, we do, and as I said earlier, we offer a huge variety of healthy options now. There still are the chips in the canteen, and some people will choose those, but the range of healthy options that they can choose from is huge.
Sara, what about for you, making those changes stick?
Yeah, I think community engagement, again, that's where I'm focused, but getting the food out and getting people to come and taste test, getting your volunteers to come in and see what you actually do. So I like to, I just say a 15-minute slot is if that's all you can give when you're dropping off your child, coming in, and then they get invested because they get to see what happens inside of the tuck shop. They love the setup. It's clean, it's inviting, it's fun. I have a coffee machine. I love to offer them a tea or a coffee after their service to send them on their day.
Madonna?
I think that what you've got to do is the community, is have everybody involved on board. And if that's sending out information to parents as to why you're making the changes, then that's a first good step. That's a good first step, is to let people know why you're making the changes. You're not taking food away from the students or the kids or the sports players. You're actually giving them a better choice of food.
We talked earlier about P&Cs. That's obviously it's all part of it. What about that collaboration, the work you do with them to make sure you're all on the same page?
I'm really lucky. I'm one of the few lucky ones that has a great P&C. So I can't complain. And that's been the way for the last 10 years with us. And even when the new executive comes in, they realise what we're doing as part of a canteen and as part of the school community. And they see that it's all good. So therefore, we have no complaints. Once again, it's one of these perceived ideas that healthy food won't make as much profit, as Deanne said. The facts are there. We actually make a great profit. with our food, with being a full smart choice menu.
I don't imagine it's always all been smooth sailing for everybody. Jess, we might start with you at the end. What challenges what hurdles, who was in the road, and how did you overcome it?
I think I could talk about this topic for a very long time. There were definitely plenty of challenges. Big one, and I've heard it multiple times today, this word was resistance to change. But not just from, say, the canteen staff who were resistant to the change for profit reasons. So there was a lot of concerns around loss of profit. But also my own resistance to change, I guess. I'm a notorious people pleaser, so when I would get negative feedback about some of these healthier food changes that we were implementing, it really made me not want to engage with the ABC as much. So really it was about reflecting on my purpose with the role, I guess, and that was to be able to increase access to healthier foods for people who I was seeing in clinics for chronic diseases, as well as my colleagues, and reducing the access to the unhealthier foods that were promoting those chronic diseases.
I think also we need to take into consideration where you are. So Roma, it's a different mindset about what constitutes good food.
Absolutely. And I guess as well, coming from Roma, we do have limited access to suppliers, I guess. So that was also another big challenge. Was when I first started the project, it was, well, we can't get those foods, so we just go with what we can source. But I took the initiative and I contacted the suppliers, and it was actually a lot simpler than I realised to get some foods through the suppliers and increase those green options. So yeah, you can't imagine my excitement when I got light mainland's cheese and crackers into our canteen.
I'm going to skip along, Paula, and come back to you, but Sara, I would have thought a similar issue for you around food and supply and expectations being for the north.
Yeah, absolutely. Food supply is always a problem in Far North Queensland. So that's another reason why we did want to implement the garden and go to some local suppliers, which we have done. And the change around that has been phenomenal. We have a lot of people now coming to the school and seeing what we do and contacting us and reaching out because we've started that process. And I think what we talked about before was sustainability and making sure that we can give that back to our community. So I love engaging in our local community and giving back that way.
What other challenges did you face? Anything else that was really hard to come up against?
Yeah, so I came into a quite old Tuckshop, so I needed some bright, friendly, happy scenarios to work with, and that's just what I did. I just went out and I engaged in those people and I rallied around those people to come and be a group and an organisation. The challenge now is to not have so many volunteers come at the one time for us because we've built such a community. But yeah, not too many big hurdles, but just little ones. It's very fast paced in the Tuckshop. You've got to think on your feet. I already had phone calls this morning before coming to the conference, but it's very rewarding at the same sense. You're dealing with young children. You don't know their background, and to be that happy, friendly person that they might not only have in their life is very humbling to know. And you can give them a smile, or you can give them a toasty, and they'll be happy for the rest of the day because you know that they're going to go back and they're going to learn and they're going to have their tummy filled. So I love to be in that position to do that.
That's why we love Tuckshop, ladies. What about for you? Any challenges and roadblocks?
Yeah, one of the benefits we had from moving to that self-service canteen was the staff that were previously serving people are now busy making sandwiches and salads. So it's a very, it's probably more time-consuming for us to be offering the healthy options, but we're able to use our staff differently. We source pre-cut, pre-sliced vegetables and things if we've got a big carnival coming up, and we also offer sushi that we've just pre-purchased, so there's not a big time investment there, but certainly it's more labour intensive to offer the healthy options than the fast food options. But yeah, we're getting around that. And as Michael was saying earlier, we just need to price things accordingly.
It's about finding a way, isn't it, Madonna? Finding that way around.
It is. It's about taking the leap, actually. It's just doing it and then working out but making your menu appropriate to what you have. So the staff you have, the equipment you have, and what your demographic is that you're selling to. So you have to fit your menu around that. As I said before, you can't please everybody. And you can't be everything to everybody either. So it's just putting the food out there, trial and error. I confess we've had items that don't sell we thought would run out the door, but they haven't. It is trial and error. But once you get the formula right, it works.
I wonder for you if one of the challenges is around portions and portion sizes, because you're dealing with young girls to 18-year-old men.
I have 3 teenage boys. There's never enough food in our house. You're correct. We do have some of our older students, especially the male ones, who have their own jobs is another thing. So a lot of them have their own money. So sometimes we have them coming in and buying 3 meals, the main meal size as we call it, every day for lunch. But once again, it's just a case of us educating them as well. When somebody picks up 2 bottles of flavoured milk, because we only have the small ones, and they might pick up 3. It's just educating them as to why that's the product we have and why they should only have 1 per day, not 3. So once again, we've got things up in the canteen just to show them that the sugar content of different things, and just to let them know why we do have the menu items that we have.
Is it also for... Yeah, go for it.
Just to add to that, we don't just service the children of the school, we also service the staff. So Michael was saying before that you do need to take the food to them if they're not going to come to you. So a breaking ground for us was to make some food and take it to the staff room and pop a note there and say and put a price there, and they just pop their money in, and literally every time I did that, everything was sold. And they were like, wow, this is really great food from the Tuckshop. So now they're starting to order. So we don't just have children, we also have the adults, and I also do catering events, which the school has expanded on as well. So you have to look at your demographic and work with what you have at that area.
Is it also opening your mind a little bit when you talk about going down that the choices menu? It's not just sandwiches, etc. It's full meals, as you were just saying.
It is full meals. And it's also a thing of educating, I think, just young people in general these days, that to remember that food is actually a fuel for our body. It's not a fad. It's not a treat. It's actually, when you're having a meal at lunchtime, especially when you're at school studying, it's actually fuel for your body. So once again, it's just educating the kids, educating the parents as well as to why you've got healthy food. And we do. The other thing that we do is our packaging. So I don't know if you noticed the salads out before in the little plastic cups that we had at morning tea. I had to go get one because they looked great in those cups. Yeah. So if you can package your items so that they're appealing to the students, to your customers, that's one step ahead of just putting it in a plastic bag. We do also have to have a lot of our food in paper bags because we have everything sealed in the canteen. But we have photos of what it looks like up above it in the bain-maries so that they can see what they're actually getting in that plastic or paper bag. So once again, people eat with their eyes. If it looks good, and salads look fantastic. Instagram's full of them. I always say, use the resources available. Quast, Health and Wellbeing, they have great recipes online. So go and check them out, and that's where we get most of our inspiration from. Or sometimes even my boys on TikTok come out and want to try something. The new fad this week is smash burgers.
Oh my God, I feel like all I eat is seafood.
They look fantastic, and you can make a healthy option of them. And that's what we do, is we look at what is out there on the social media at the time, and we implement a healthier option of it.
Before I let you go, ladies, number one piece of advice, I'm going to start at the end with you, Jazz. If people want to start and make these healthier changes, what's the top piece of advice you'd give?
It's another one I've heard today, and that is just making one small, simple change at a time. So when I first went into it, I read the ABC guidelines back to front about 5 times, and I saw a whole mountain of work that I had to do, and I was trying to do it all at once, even though I know better in the back of my mind I shouldn't do that. So I took a step back and I just picked one simple thing. So the first thing I can think of is adding a fruit or vegetable to a sandwich. And it was a really simple message that I could get across to canteen staff as well. And by doing that, we increased our green options available just from that one simple change.
Excellent. Paula?
Yes, I'll certainly go along with that. Baby steps. Just start, introduce it, build it and they will come. We have just found that when we are offering these healthy options, there's the uptake there. So offer it. It can be starting small, but it will just grow.
Excellent.
And making it fun. It needs to be fun, otherwise there won't be any change. Make it fun for yourself, fun for your community group as well.
Just do it and use the resources available. It's as simple as that. I mean, we can talk about it all day, but we do need to make healthier choices with food. And so if we can start at the schools, start at canteens, we're not as I said before, we're not stopping people from having treats. We're just enabling them to make smarter choices and have healthier food when they're out and about.
So before I let the ladies leave the stage, do we have any questions?
It's not a question, it's just a quick comment. I always remind people that every molecule in your body has been processed from the food you eat. And so if you want to have a healthy body, it's essential that you have healthy food. If you want to have a junk body, you have junk food.
I like that. Thank you, sir. There's just one there.
Thank you, ladies. Amazing work. Congratulations on all you're doing, and really well done on the presentation. My question's to Madonna. 500 meals in 20 minutes, like unbelievable. On everything that's been presented so far, it seems as though when we do make it a switch to a better choice, or the smarter choices on the menu, that the consumption pattern still remains at that 100%. So we actually see that person who might have chosen something differently previously, actually still advocating with their feet and buying from the canteen, just something that we've obviously, designed ourselves to be a healthier choice. Is that sort of consistent with your experience?
Our sales keep improving. To be honest, probably took 2 weeks for the students to realise the unhealthy food wasn't coming back in. So they had no choice. And we every day our sales are improving. And we did think that maybe with the economics of today, with a lot of during COVID, we did have a decrease, and that was because a lot of our older students weren't working, so they weren't buying their own food. Their parents soon realised how much they were actually spending at the canteen. But now that they've all got their casual jobs back, our sales just keep improving every single, term, really. So, just as I said, we actually find that buying in a lot of pre-made food is more expensive to us. We can't make the profit on it that we can by making the healthy, freshly made food.
Fantastic. Ladies, thank you so very much. Fantastic to hear from you all today.